food and animal farming sectors are constantly changing and confronted with challenges, which concern not only farmers, but also veterinarians, public authorities, and the wider sector and society.
Antimicrobial use is a systematic problem in animal farming globally, which leads to the development of antimicrobial resistance. Antimicrobial resistance is a problem for global public health and also for food security. And the amount of antimicrobials used varies widely between different sectors, different system types, different contexts in terms of locally and nationally. And that's why we decided to take action with the Roadmap project.
The European project, Roadmap, identifies factors at different levels, which influence and explain these different context-dependent variations, and seek relevant solutions driven by local and national stakeholders. To do this, Roadmap teams in 7 different countries have involved stakeholders into 12 living labs, working with poultry, pig, or cattle sectors. Let's take a closer look at one of these living labs.
A living lab is a group of farm-related stakeholders and other stakeholders related to the value chain that come together, that co-construct, co-create, identify problems together, try to find solutions, experiment and negotiate on strategies that can foster more prudent use of antimicrobials. Living labs are always taking place in a real-life setting. It always takes a bottom-up approach, and here in Britain, the bottom-up approach has been about empowering calf rearers to raise a voice and have a say to the industry.
This living lab approach allows all involved stakeholders to focus on what is most relevant for them at the moment. They identify the problems to target, and they work on solutions in what we call action labs. Here, they can consider the general applicability and potentials of a strategy, an innovation, a service, or any other product. In addition to this, they can also consider its potential adoption by a wider range of end users.
I found being part of the Living Lab really useful. This project has allowed me to take part in discussions with RUMA, which is the Responsible Use of Microbials Alliance. I've represented calf rearers as part of the UK sector and helped to work on setting targets for our microbial usage. I took part in a cross-country discussion trip in Denmark with representatives from the calf sector, vets and industry from lots of different countries. We got to discuss our practices and compare them with those that we saw in Denmark. My work with the Living Lab has helped me to understand more about antimicrobial usage, and this has translated directly into my own work and also allowed us to be heard by industry.
The conversations that have taken place as part of the Living Labs project have really focused on how to reduce and prevent disease through measures such as improving animal husbandry, improving biosecurity and vaccination. And I think peer-to-peer learning can be a really important driver of change. And with the farmers, the calf rearers learning from each other and learning from the experiences in different countries, I think that can be really, really empowering because it focused on on-farm interventions and it helped the calf rearers to identify opportunities for improvement and the different practical steps that can be taken on their farm. From my perspective, I've learned a great deal from the Living Labs project and from speaking to the different farmers and the different country experts. And this has really helped me as we continue to work with vets and farmers to drive improvements in antibiotic stewardship.
Through the Living Lab, the members increased their own learning, they got to exchange views with influential decision makers, and they took part in public-facing knowledge exchange activities. We had 11 virtual Living Lab meetings, during which we identified activities they'd like to take part in and started an action lab where 2 members of the Living Lab joined RUMA as calf rearing representatives. So they've been helping RUMA achieve their targets for reducing antimicrobial use within calf rearing through, for instance, trying to increase uptake of the e-medicine hub organised by AHDB.
The experiences of the Roadmap Living Labs show that multi-stakeholder groups can develop context-relevant strategies and solutions at multiple levels to foster a prudent use of antimicrobials, which can be shaped and adopted by many different stakeholder groups in animal farming sectors. and make impact in ways that contribute to the Farm to Fork strategy on reducing the overall EU sales of antimicrobials for farmed animals by 50% by 2030. More information? Visit our website.